Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Boner.
Is not available.
Hey, Benji, I just got to the airport. I really hope you left already. Oh, God, you made it.
What's up, cuz? I got some good shit from when we land.
Wait, you're not, like, taking weed into Poland, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Benji?
They don't give a shit about that stuff, man.
I think they very much do give a shit about
Oh,
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
We get high in backseats of cars.
Davers and I are cousins. We used to be joined at the hip. Our grandma was from here, so Dave arranged for us to join this geriatric Polish tour with you fine people.
Judita DaSilva, Arise Play Nigeria. This film tackles revisiting the Holocaust with both pathos and humor. Do you feel that sometimes that balance is needed when you're dealing with topics that are tragic? And do you think the particular brand of humor in the film is only possible with the advantage of a Jewish perspective?
First of all, thank you so much for that very thoughtful question and for doing this interview. The way I kind of live my life is essentially the same tone of this movie, which is that, like, you know, I'm kind of a person obsessed with I'm a person who's obsessed with major historical traumatic events, because that's what just interests me. And yet my probably like my mode of dealing with certain situations is through humor, maybe as a kind of coping mechanism. I wanted to ask you, what was it that you mentioned about the Jewish perspective?
That the tone of humor you use, like, those are jokes that no one would ever crack or think to crack, but it's only possible because you have that vantage point of a Jewish perspective.
Sure.
So do you think that's where you come from with it?
Yeah, sure. That's a really interesting connection you're making. And sure, when you're so close to something and affected by it in ways that are both like numerous and upsetting, it allows you to guess, like, to kind of maybe bring levity in a way another culture wouldn't. There's a character in this movie that's based on my friend Deloge, who survived the Rwandan genocide and converted to Judaism, and he's based on my friend whose story, who lent me his story. And when I think about when I think about the genocide against the Tutsis in Rwanda, there's not one part of me that's not thinking about it from a place of pure devastation. I don't have the closeness to it to be able to kind of, think about it any other way than pure horror. But when it comes to my own family's tragedy, it brings up all sorts of things, and it's in my blood in a way that feels really complicated and allows me to basically comment on it from a place of being an insider. And perhaps it speaks to what you're saying.
That's the way we get by.
I really needed this, man. I know that it's tough for you to leave your boy.
The way we get by.
I don't really have anything going on.
I know it's been a tough few months for you, so...
I also want to say that I know you're not the most comfortable person with people.
I'm not?
No.
Does it look real?
Well, they're twice the size of you in metal, so...
You sure you don't want to come up here?
I'm good.
Can you take my picture?
That's what I'm talking about. Marcia!
Thank you, David.
But it's amazing that you're here, putting yourself out there so boldly for me.
Thank you, man.
Let's go smoke a joint.
You play the character of Benji so well in the way you show his sort of precariously balanced emotional state with having this overwhelming but suppressed amount of sadness. And I just wondered, as you were developing your performance, was it challenging to be able to strike just the right pacing because he fluctuates between the emotions he expresses outwardly and what he internalizes? But you do it well enough for the audience to know exactly when both are happening. So was that a challenge to find the pacing?
You want to know what's funny? It was that wasn't really a challenge to find. He was like a walking raw nerve. He doesn't think before he speaks, or before he has no idea what his own reaction is going to be to something, and he's completely unpredictable and surprises everyone with his reaction, including himself. So I think for me, it made complete sense who this guy was, and just to walk around trying to feel everything, but also unconsciously being able to feel absolutely everything that's happening to him. So my only job was to just be present. That's it. And just listen to the other actor. To me, it was right there on the page. According to Jesse, he says, because he wanted to play the character Benji initially. And he said he saw him completely differently, and he thought he was very aggressive and trying to hide his stuff. And that's not how I saw him. He was just very bare and open. And I didn't find it challenging. It was so well written and right there. And all I had to do was be there and look at the people around me. It was pretty easy for me.
And look, he's jumping off about the dynamic. Like every family has that member that is the life and soul of the party, and Benji's clearly that member of the family. So was it quick for you to find the balance between yourself and Jesse to create that stark contrast between him being so repressed and you being this outburst of energy?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and that happened like take one within second number 4 of like being there, because we didn't really know each other. We didn't rehearse. We just sort of went and shot the first thing, and it felt like, but I saw it on the page. I saw their history right there on the page. And I was familiar with, he wasn't familiar with my work, but I was familiar with his work. So I had sort of an idea of how he talked and how he was going to approach this character. And it was just, yeah, let's go out there and do it. And that's why I say it wasn't hard, because I didn't want to do too much work. If I tried to do this, then, you know, I'm trying to come up with what's in his head and trying to like really get into who this guy is, and then show up on the day and try to forget it, instead of just be there, be a raw nerve. I didn't want to get ahead of Benji. I wanted to know only as much about the character as the character would know about himself. And even the most self-aware person is going to have some blind spots and not really know who they are. Yeah. And Benji is really in touch emotionally with himself and has a good understanding of a lot, but he also, I don't think he understands, first of all, that he is kind of a fuck up, and I don't think he gets that. And he also, even if he did, I don't think he could comprehend why, because I think he thinks he's doing everything the right way. And I just don't want to overthink it. Now, after the fact, you and I can talk about it, but in the moment, it was just go out there and do.
Well, I just want to say, like, I loved the film and your performances, because it spoke to so many experiences I have with my brothers. So well done and bravo, bravo. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Word of warning, this will be a tour about pain.
Our grandmother and Benji were super close.
I mean, she was the coolest. I've just been in a real funk, I guess, since she died. Just haven't...
You're looking back at the horrors of your family history.
We completely cut ourselves off from anyone else's true pain.
Why are you doing this?
Oh man, you used to like feel everything.
Obviously, there are triggers along the way.
We're not at the right station.
And you didn't wake me up.
Oh, you're having such a good nap, dude.
Jesus
you were like,
Christ, you're on a tour group with people.
I know, I just didn't have the heart to wake you up.
Has he always been like this?
I love him and I hate him
What the flying jeez?
and I want to be him.
You used to cry about everything.
Yeah, it was awful. Who wants to cry about everything?
Even though Jesse Eisenberg's time in the director's chair is still in its infancy, this that just can't be beaten.
I mean, I knew that if I spoke to you, I had to say this to you, that Jesse, this is a good film.
Oh,
In my humble opinion, I think you found your pocket, you found your rhythm, and this is something you should chase and pursue. But
Oh,
you are
thank
an
you.
artist, you know where your creative heart lies. Does it lie with more films like indie art house like this, or do you have ambitions beyond this genre of filmmaking?
I perhaps have ambitions, but not the talent. Like I just got off the set of Now You See Me 3, and my friend Ruben Fleischer was directing it, and I just stood kind of marveling every day at the massive production that he was creating, and I just don't know if I have that in me. The next movie I'm doing is about musical theater, and it's kind of about the world I grew up in when I was younger in musical theater, and so I think I probably excel or feel most comfortable doing things that I can really relate to and are at my kind of human level of understanding. I have, but as an actor, I always said the same thing, that I would like to do these kind of indie movies, and then I get cast sometimes in these bigger things, and I feel comfortable. So I don't know. The truth is, Judita, is that I in an industry that is very unstable, and if I could have a career that is just one of consistently working on projects that I like, I will consider myself incredibly lucky.
You and Kieran have such idiosyncrasies that are actually really complementary and lend themselves to believing you're related. Was he always in your mind to play opposite you from the start?
I think he was in my unconscious mind. He was recommended to me when I was like 30 pages into the script by my sister, who had read 30 pages and said, there's one person on the planet who could play this role, and it's Kieran Culkin. And he was in the back of my mind. And my only hesitation was that Kieran personally is not Jewish. And so I was thinking, well, this is a movie so specifically about Jews. So I kind of, I guess, wrote him off. But after I finished the script, it was just so clear that he would be the best. And when I think about his personal religion, it kind of just becomes so irrelevant, because what he gave me as like a Jewish person making this story is such an unbelievable gift. I speak to my father about the movie, and he just says, like, Kieran speaks to our community and people we know with such specificity that that he really gave me and my family a gift. So that was my only hesitation, and he so far surpasses my high hopes for this role that I think I feel indebted to him.
Well, Jesse, bravo on the film, and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for speaking to me. I really appreciate it.
We're in a Holocaust tour. If now is not the time to grieve, I don't know what to tell you.
You